To start off, if you haven't watched the video from this week on the scenarios, this is a monster breakthrough, and I want to be very clear about that. And I know people are kicking and screaming and being like, "But I just learned the thing, all right, Jeff? I just learned the things," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, now we can streamline it and really go to town because there's only so many possible scenarios that can play out. And once we understand that, we can go after things that we couldn't go after before because we're waiting for actionable signals and all this kind of stuff. We don't have to do that anymore." So I think it was Colgate here. Or was it Clorox? Clorox. So Clorox, or was that Daily? Daily comes back in. But anyway, so stuff like a 2, which means, and did everybody watch that? If anybody didn't watch that, I want to make sure that we get through this stuff. We also want to make sure that I get all the questions too. So if you have questions, start firing them. Good, Joe. Because on top of the universal truths, it just melts right into that stuff where we can just continue to get things because of that. And because we know that these things exist, because we know these things exist, we can still have real tight stops and just bang it, right? That's the beauty of it. And so let me see, I want to get back here. Yeah, and about following just a few stocks. Today was awesome on the Gapper list. RPM here. The opening 30. Pow. Right? Opening 30 just gets cremated. Right? Is that important? It is, because per the scenarios, one of the great things that we already know about the scenarios, the great things that we already know that most people have no idea, we know outside bars and triangles exist. Most people are kicking and screaming, looking at their head and shoulders and cup and handles and no idea what they're talking about. We know they exist. And since we know they exist, we know that they can also exist only after a scenario 2, right? And 2 bars. Right? And what I mean by that is that we know triangles can play out for a while. But if you're going to only use 2 bars and only look at 2 bars, triangle has to take out one side first. Right? And then once it comes back in, then we know we got potential triangle, right? That's big. So in this case, this is a scenario 3-day that has started as a 2-day, right? Gap to here, which is 2, higher than this, goes up and then comes back here. Continuity changes. The daily continuity changes. 5504. And this breaks that. This is already below that. The low of this is 5505. Bam. All right. Triangle is a broadening formation. Yeah, it just looks like a triangle, so but it's a broadening formation. But much like you were trying to streamline our conversation today, it's faster to say triangle than broadening formation. So, and it's scenario 3. Yes, other guys call triangles that are incorrect because what they'll do is they'll draw them tighter when we know to change. Like, and per that video, people that do that, they don't look at longer term time frames, because if it's going to go triangle tighter, right, it's going to go inside on a longer term time frame. It has to, right? It has to. So I had a guy on, UBS was on our inside year list, and a guy on Twitter was saying it's a rectangle. I'm like, it's not a rectangle. The only way things could possibly rectangle, which they don't because there'll be slight higher highs and lower lows during that year, is it would go inside, which it did, inside year. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to subjectively pick out price pattern. We don't have to do that. That's totally subjective per that video. I can vaporize any chart pattern by going to longer term charts. It's not there. The 1, 2, 3 stuff? Okay. So basically, and if anybody knew, the good thing about new people, if you've never heard this before or anything, this is great because you're getting to ground 1, right? Ground 1. The people who have been with me are like, what? It's really the same thing. So, Jay, so basically, scenario 1, there's only 3 scenarios that can possibly happen out of 2 bars, right? And so some people might say, well, that's not important. That's only 2 bars. Yeah, well, we know to go out on the yearly and the quarterly and the monthly, and it does matter because those are open for a long time, right? For newer people, what open means is this is not inside 30 until it closes. Until that 30 minutes is done, that's still an active bar. It's presently inside, but it could still take out both sides because it's still open. Once it closes, right, now we got scenario one. That's inside, couldn't take out either side, right? Scenario two, we take out one side. That's this, bam, right? Didn't take out this side, we took out one side, bam, right? Now, scenario three is a triangle. It takes out both sides, right? And the good thing about that is you can't have a scenario three without having a two first, right? So that alerts us that we got a potential triangle anytime you go two. So two doesn't have to be off an inside bar. This happens to be a 1-2. Doesn't have to be, right? It goes down here. This is inside. That's two. That's inside. That's inside. Then there's a two, right? And this is a two because it took out one side, right? Didn't take out the other. It comes back and closes in here. So it could go back to two reversal here, which it did, or 2-2 continuation, right? So 2-2 can mean up or down. It could be triangle or not, right? Is it confirming? Because if it's confirming, that means you got a trend. So like URI today. URI, even on the 30 or the 15er, here, when this thing opened, remember, we're using this in multiple time frames, right? So when this thing opened, daily, it took out the highs. Took out the highs of yesterday, right? That's a two. But once this baby comes back through this, the high is 175.73, your potential three, right? And if we can combine that with time frame continuity, where'd we open? 175.85, right? And because we know triangles exist, we got them, right? we're gonna go after that. So it does that. Let me shrink that down. So we go open, come back, then two, because it took out one side of this, two, took out one side of that, 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 one, consolidation, two, just keeps mauling them, right? And then inside, there's your oneer. And so if you're going to reverse, a reversal is identified as a one that breaks two opposite the direction of the bar that causes it to be one. Where do we jump on this trade? We can look for separate time frames, right? So you still want to use the strat, right? You still want to break it into separate time frames to look for 5s and 1s and 3s to get in. But in a strong time frame, you don't have to necessarily do that. That's the importance of what I'm showing you. Is that right here, as soon as this thing breaks in a strong trend, you can hit it right here. As soon as it takes that out, bam, right? Now, you might get stopped out. Like, we knew sometimes we get stopped out. You hit this thing here. I'm not sure how that was formed. But if it comes back up on you, just get out, right? 2 is straight momentum because it's trending. Boom, 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 boom. But then you get your 1. Boom, as soon as it hits that, you're in there, right? And we're nowhere at risk when it gets below here because it did what it was supposed to do, right? It took out this, 173.40. That was the goal. Go 3. Because once you go 3, you can't be anything else. For the rest of today, that's a 3. Can't change that, right? 2 can change into a 3. 1 is an inside bar, correct? But you can't change. Once it's a 3, can't change. Right? That cannot change. And so that's why we like those yearly 3s, quarterly 3s, as soon as they can possibly happen. Monthly threes because it can't possibly change, which means we like per that video we might go back the other way still, right? Tesla today, 2, all right? Here's your triangle, 2. Took out this side and that's it. Triangle looks like these. But what it did was when it went 2, the weekly went 3, right? Yeah, the weekly's 3. Took that out and down took these guys out. But then you got to stay below here. So the good thing here is this is how we can catch more of the triangle. See this? The low of this, 309.54. So once we took that out and came back, we're back 3 the other way, which was that 30 hammer here. Bam. This was the high of 309.64. Boom. We're back into the triangle, right? So once you identify this, 30 here, back into 30 here, back into the previous week's range, peak, take out the other side's range, but we're still a 3, and we know from triangles they can get bigger and go back the other way, which it did once it reclaims that weekly low, which it did right off the 30 hammer. $15, what have you. I'm just trying to make everybody understand this. And there you go. So here, it dumps, it goes, this is a 2, because this took that out. This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 2, and this is a 2 back up reversal, right? So whether this is hammer or not is irrelevant. A 2 that breaks in one direction and then counters in the other direction is a reversal. Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, we want the longer term stuff. No, because that tells us what we're looking for. That tells us what we want to go after. Because this way we can identify the triangle they at. When you get outside of when you get outside of a 3 and come back, you can go bigger 3. Because he's opinionated. Welcome, Houston. All right. 5:15, 3:1. Yeah, anything. So what is a sweet spot? 2 after 2 after 2 after 2 going into a 3. Well, Terry, I mean, it's always going to be all the time frames, really. How are we lining up? So here, I mean, like today, what are the things we pointed out today? Dollar Tree. Let's take a look at this stuff because you don't have to be. I don't want you to think you have to be ninja. All the longer term stuff is really going to set up on this stuff. This is really a big deal, right? So daily, what happened in Dollar Tree? Right here, teehee. They took out the downside, right? Right, which was a previous 3, so potential bigger 3, which we got because we know triangles grow, right? And then on the 60, if you do this, right, the try, right. So here was the 3 that took out yesterday's lows, right? Still a 3. Comes back in, goes 2, right? Tighter try. See this tighter triangle here? Then comes in, goes 1. 1 Momo hammer. Was that good? It was. Because at this point, we're looking for measured move, up, sideways measured move. Because we know we took out one side and come back up. And up into here, what did I say? What's our goal here? This. All right? We just want the triangle to grow, and that was 109.49. Right? We did it. And at that point, then it can reverse back down because it's still triangle. It's still outside day. And then the 15 did this. We're going to catch all these mofos. This is a thing of beauty. All right. Then it goes inside 15 off the highs and back into the try. Voila. Right here. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2 the other way. Get out and reverse if you want. Because on the opening, man, the three twos, that's what you want. The three twos, because look at this. Best Buy 15er. There was a whole bunch of them this morning, but outside bar, 3, 2, right? Triangle expando, because you can't expando a triangle until you have one, right? And how can we quantify that? We get ourselves an outside bar because we know it's a triangle on a shorter term time frame. It has to be. And once you get outside of that, your triangle expando, kaboom. And how do you narrow your focus? I tell you, look at the gapper list. Yeah. Stay on the gap list. And VXX. If you just want to make money, man. I know it's been a little tight lately, but... And then, also, you'll notice from the weekend video and the nightly video, we got some focus on where we want to be. Like the oil patch, that's kind of what we wanted to do this week, right? Oh, no, we're going right after it. Tight. And so one of the things, Houston, what's really important, because we know this stuff, it shouldn't go against us. There's no way it goes against us, right? So we want to break it down to a shorter term time frame if we can. If not, at worst, you're just going to the top of this bar. That's it, right? Preferably only a few pennies above when it breaks this, because otherwise, if it comes back up in here, it could go 3-3 and really maul you. The thing is, these things are so powerful, they shouldn't go against us. Because you'll notice, and I'm sure if you've traded at all, right, if you traded at all, you know the difference between you take the offer and it doesn't move, and the ones that goes, zzz, and a lot of people freak out when it does that too. They're like, oh my God, I got to take some off the table. It went too fast. I'm like, no. It does it because we expect that to happen, right? If I punch you in the face, man, I expect you to drop. If you start spitting out teeth and laughing at me, I'm going to run, right? I'm going to run. Right here, we're punching them right. We're kicking them or wherever we're doing. That thing should just dump, right? Yeah. If you get a 3, well, 3 can only go after that 1, 2, or 3, right? So if it stays inside, that's 1. If it takes one side, bam, triangle expansion. If it comes back in, the good thing is if you hit this thing here and it doesn't go and you get out and it starts coming up into here, then you got a 3. Then you can go after it the other way. No, the 2 doesn't have to be an inside bar. Any bar, any range. That's the beautiful part about it. We're not totally slaves to the inside bar. Any range. Any range. We're just thinking in terms of 2 bars because we can do that by breaking it into the longer term. Your entry point, right below the triangle. Bam, right below that thing. Triangle expander, because we've seen what triangle expandos can do, right? A la Boeing and Cat on the yearly last year, right? And every single day. And the beauty of it is it doesn't go, you just get out, man. Because when they do work, they work really well. That's the thing. We can take a lot of stops. That doesn't bother me. But when they go, they really go. It's gone. No, it's always the right time to ask. That's why I do this. How do you handle position sizing? Do you recommend fixed sizing based on cash risk? Yeah, well, first of all, if you haven't emailed me and introduced yourself, please do that because I basically what we do is I customize it because everybody's risk tolerance and experience and all that kind of stuff is different. And so once I know who you are, I mean, basically I want you to go pedal to the metal. When something's working, throw everything you got at it, right? Because there's no reason it's going to go against us. And it's because ideally what we're doing, and this is where most people fail, they'll put on their initial position and that's the position, right? We don't do that. We make money on adding to our winners, right? Because if you do that, your biggest loser is always your smallest position. But these things that don't stop and you keep pounding on it, you clean house. So I'm sure everybody's done this, right? You make a little, make a little, make a little, give it all back, and then some on one trade. Yeah, we're the opposite of that. Those ones that used to take all your money, those are the ones that we clean house on because you'll get multiple ads. So these situations that I'm showing you, right, so these situations I'm showing you will also play out on shorter term time frames where we can hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. And then if it starts to change, get out. Take it all. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. And that's why I say when you get something like URI, if you're just pounding it or whatever it may be, Dollar Tree, like, so what we want to do is we want to identify where those threes possibly could be, right? So like Phillips Van Heusen, step-by-step guide, we're getting that. So like Phillips Van Heusen, as soon as this baby takes out these lows and starts coming back into the range, look, it's not that hard. This is a 2-hour setup. Ready? Triangle they out. Triangle they out. Inside 60 and gone. Bam. There's your one that causes the 3 on the daily. So that's why we'll be looking at those, like I said in that video, the potential yearly threes, the quarterly threes, the monthly threes, and then breaking it down during the day. And that's why something like ISRG didn't quite make it. That's okay. There's plenty of acreage on it when it did. 60 shooter right here, right? 60 shooter comes back into the previous day's range. Right? There's your potential 3. Whether it makes it or not, it could still go, because it didn't, it was still a 2, which means it could go 2-2 and take them out tomorrow. But there was plenty of time in here to go after that. All right, good to meet you. Right on. Okay, so what other outside days do we have that were juicy? Because if you want to practice looking at how this stuff works, all you have to do is scan, look at the outside days, how they set up. Because if we went to, like, Cat was one today. That was in the video that didn't make it, but Cat, daily was in the video last night. Why? Because it was a hammer back into an outside bar. That means we're back into a triangle, right? Triangle them out. And so what that is, that's a 3, 2, right? And then 2, 2 back the opposite way, 2 this way, 2 that way, and you have your triangle. Oh yeah, bam, that's going back up. 60 hammer, boom. We're going to take these guys out for sure. For sure, right? Oh yeah, John, you're gonna love this for all these scans and all the kind of stuff. Oh yeah. So who else could do out there? Western Digi, how'd you do, boy? Western Digi kind of got them fast, right? So the thing is, there's gonna be some stuff that's lightning, like Western Digi, right? But the good thing about this thing, it opened up here, took them out, came back in, went down. And how fast what happened? What happened? But this does help you go back stuff and see exactly what did happen. How are we going to nail this thing? Oh, man, that was fast. That was a little rough. Judy, we've been talking about it for half an hour. Reference documents, Keith? No, just came to me over Christmas, so this is all brand new to me too. Outside of the video, so I'm going to be building this course over the next few months. When a 2 breaks back inside, it's still a 2. It's a potential 3 though. No, Judy, I'm still here. I'm still here. And obviously, this conversation's brand new for everybody, right? I just want you to be able to see it, like ZBH. I think today, ZBH got him good here too, right? Outside day. Came up in here, took him in the morning. And now, so before, whether this is a shooter or not here, and we would have to wait for that, once these things start reversing on them and potential, right? Took out this low, two, two. Took out these guys, one direction, two, 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 one, two, two, two. And there's your two reversal here, right? That would get your attention. But you could just drive the crap out of them down in here. Yes, this is recorded, hopefully. It seems like it is. Correct. One is an outside. Two is take out one side. Three is take out both sides. And three is an outside bar. Has to be. And so ideally, what's important about that is we don't have to wait for the three to complete. We just have to know that it exists, which we do. We know outside bars exist. And so once they start coming in on that stuff, right, then we can tie up all the things we already know. Time frame continuity, actionable signals on what is this thing going to look like if it's going to take out the other side. Like I said, Dollar Tree is going to go 60. If this thing goes 60, like that, that's what it's going to look like. Up, sideways, measured move. If they're going to take out the other side. We already know they took this side out and are back in the range. Right? Perfect, Dice. That sounds perfect. Catching on. Right. Nice. So then the 3-2 setup, that can also help us look for other things. Like MCO today. Get. Yesterday was outside 3. Right? There's bullish engulfing. You get out, as long as this thing's outside of here, you got your triangle expando. Kaboom. Right? 3-2 setup daily. And once again, I can't reiterate this enough. Once we get this stuff on longer term stuff, we know exactly where the sploders are. Last year, 3-2, CAT, 3-2, Boeing, right? So we're still early in the year. But once these things set up on quarterlies and monthlies and yearlies, we know exactly where we want to be. And because of the scenarios, we don't have to have actionable signals all the time. We just got to know what the scenario is. I understand. Frank, you can only imagine when this came into my mind that I couldn't get out of my brain fast enough. Because I still have a first grade report card. My teacher said, it seems that Rob is very smart, and sometimes he thinks so fast he can't talk fast enough to get it out. I'm like, I know. Go to bed with triangles in your head. Right. So, Judy, and for everybody, let's run through this real quick, step by step, because I did it in the video, but let's do it step by step. Right. So, scenario 1 is an inside bar, right? And what that means is that because of we're looking for longer other time frames, we're always looking at a bunch of time frames, right? We can say scenario 1, say this is it, right? And because this bar is red that it was in, right, that this is a continuation 1, 2, right? 2 takes out 1, 2. Now with URI, when it went this is a reversal 1, 2. Why? Because this bar was red, this bar was inside. The color of this is irrelevant. If this is a 1, depending on what color this is, red or green, if this is red and this goes green, that's a reversal, right? As opposed to a continuation pattern here. 1 after a red, boom, breaks in the same direction, continuation pattern. 1 after a red goes green, that's reversal. All right. So 2 is just breaking either side, right? However, when 2 is still open, if it comes back into the range, it becomes a potential 3, right? And that's very important to know. 2 countering 2, all right? Like I said, and this is new to me to try and find all this stuff, but it was like Clorox daily here. So Clorox, no matter how far it went up and came back, right? So a reversal can also be 2, which took out this bar's low, countered by a 2 breaking the other way, 2-2, right? Because it broke the bar one way, and then it breaks back the other way, 2-2. That's also going to form triangle, right? Or you're just simply 2-2 in the same direction continuation, right? Like the URI. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? All that kind of stuff, right? So the important thing that because we know triangles exist, because of 3, we can combine all this stuff. No, I mean, a 1-2 break could be huge, that could be huge, right? But we know that if it's a 3, it takes out the entire range, right? That we do know. So where we might be looking for measured move on a inside measured move, which would be a 1-2 break, right? Because another thing that is important to remember, once you go 1, you have to go 2. Eventually you got to go 2 or never trade again. You got a 2 coming. So what's the importance of the 2? Well, that's going to be on what we know about the longer term time frames, right? But when you have a 1, you have to have a 2. And when you have a 3, you have to have a 2 first. 1 means 2's coming. Sorry. Here we go. How's that? A 1 means it's got to go 2 eventually. All right? So, good. So another thing that's important to remember, didn't quite do it here. And so you can see on the 60. So on the 60, when it was going 2-2-2, for 15, 2-2-2-2-2, that was reconfirming the 60, 3-2. Bam. Outside triangle expando crusher. Right? Oh, it's just like as soon as you got here, everything I tell you is on everything. It's on everything. It's a matter of whether it's a chop or not. On the month, 2, because it broke to the downside, 2 reversal. Hammer. 2-2, back up. 2, still going. 2, still going. 2, still going. Now potential 3 as it comes back in on the monthly. On the daily, well, you see, and when it gets grindy like this, maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. We're always going to be looking at everything we possibly can. That's why when we have the yearly and quarterly and monthly charts, the choppy stuff doesn't matter. 3 1s right here. 3-1. Yep. Then gapped 2, stayed 2. Stayed 2, stayed 2, stayed 2, stayed 2, went 1, went 2, then 3. Yeah, 2-2-2-2-2. Yeah, that's what you want. That's what you want. Is ideally you want a 2 to become a possible 3, and then start gunning 2s all the way to the other side of the other side of the triangle. Yes, they will, Slim. Yeah. 3, yeah, because then you've done what we wanted to do. So, and also Terry. It's also, don't get caught in the vortex. It's what is going on in everything, right? What is going on in everything. But this is also going to enable us to do a lot of other crap. So, like with DG today, inside week and inside day up, right? Dollar Gen, right? But on the 60. When it poked up here and goes into new highs, we know we're a triangle risk. right? Once it comes back into here, we can do that. And then here's what it did. It went outside 15er on the highs for the 3-2 rip puker back down, right? And so we can catch the triangle day out too, and then get back in because here it goes two. This is a two down, 1, 2, and then this is a two because it took out the lows, and this is the two reversal and get right back in. And Dan, waiting for a three is like waiting for price to get to 150. Should we look for trades in shorter time frames inside the greater three bar? Yeah, no, yeah. Once it's three, oh yeah, oh you betcha. That's what I'm saying. So because this is the 15, right? And so the 60 goes three at 95.23, and the 15er the low is 95.39. So that's gonna kick that thing into a 63. Bam. Right there. Your 15 are outside. Boom. If that kicks in, triangle expando, oh yeah, you're going 3 on the 60. Right? That's why it's always important to look at all the time frames. And Slim, we can still use the actionable signals. We prefer that. Right? We prefer the 1 because we know that's an inside bar. Right? And we prefer the 2 to be a shooting star or a hammer. We prefer that. Definitely. Just doesn't have to be. Because we're using multiple time frames, if there's something we want to get involved in, where we used to have to try and wait for a hammer or an actual signal, we don't have to do that. The thing goes 2-2 back the other way that we know in full time frame continuity, we can just jump on it right there. That's the beauty of it. Costco, there you go, 3-day. Costco. Ah, 15. Opens up, gives them the business. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Right? Gone. All right. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. What do we know about Goldman Sachs? Goldman Sachs is presently at 1 on the month. It's still open, right? On the week, it is inside and up 2. Now, this is very important to remember, right? As I said in that video, should this week close out as it is, then you got to use your mind, right? Then you got to use your mind because this low and this high are still within this bar. That's still a 1. So multiple time frames. Oh, that's Costco. I'm sorry. What happened to me? Costco. Okay, almost the same. Goldman Sachs, inside month, right? We're open up. We're still in inside month. Triangle the out. Okay. Still an inside month to open up, right? Weekly. It's 2. We took out one side. We're back in the other side. So this is another important thing to be the continuation is remember here, once you take out one side as a 2 and come back into the range, there's only a few things you can do. You either go retake that stuff, go inside, or you come down here and go 2-2 and take out those guys too. All right? You don't want to get too much into this because it's a little challenging, but just be something closes out as a challenge 2 that didn't work, that's back in the range, then that other 2 shows you the high of the new triangle. So if this thing comes down in here, we're looking to take that and that out for this. See this try there would come down into here, right? So the daily does this. Tight triangle business this. And this is how you can tell when you're getting tight tried. 2's going back the other way, right? And not going anywhere. Right? So here, if you come into here off the highs, this is 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 the other way, but it gaps on it, right? So it messes up the time frame continuity. So only triangles these guys and comes back in. 2 down, 2 up, tight triangle. You're getting chopped, the crap chopped out of you in here, right? This stuff in here, you're going to get butchered. And that's why what happened was, what had happened was, it looked like it was going to go gangbusters today, and it fell back into that tight triangle. It had a chance, but if you look at this triangle needs to grow because you're stuck in here. Like so. You're stuck in this thing. Now, really needed to go take a shot at that. Couldn't do it. Still inside Mont. PLCE. There we go. Why is that showing different up there? Yes. Outside bar. So what did it do? You got it. So as soon as this thing took out that, and then as soon as it comes back into here, it gives you any indication it's coming back into there. Oh, yeah. You got them. All right. What did this thing do? Boom. Did it right on the opening, too. And so the thing was, these are all ones until you get outside of that. And they went inside, inside, inside anyway. Here, here, here. Now, actually, this went two. Right here, which is also Rev Strat. So our traditional Rev Strat is going to be 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, one way, 2 the other way. Right? But here, this goes 2, and then 2 counter, and then bam, gone. There is no looks okay. There is what it is, man. What is the condition of the price as we know it, right? We have no opinions, man. What do we know to be true? JP Morgan, what do we know to be true? It spent the entire day in the opening 60 range. So basically, that's as close to an inside day as you could be, right? Kind of like a lot of these financials. How are you going to get outside of this thing? This, right? Because on a 60-minute basis, all this is a 1, right? If you can't get out of, if you have a 1 in any move until the next, any move gets out of the bar that causes the bar of the 1, the scenario 1, it reverts to a 1 every time that the new bar closes out. So here's your 1. It took it down, closed out. So your 1 is here to there. It reverts back. So, until you can break out of this, here's the high of the 1, this is the low of the 1. This comes up in here, couldn't take that out, still high, low. Comes down, couldn't take that or that out, still there. Goes inside, still a 1, 2. You can take that, it's just got to go, because when it closes out, now your multi-timeframe 1 actually looks like this. Looks like this. Because all of these are still consolidating in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours inside of that. Right? So you can take the break outside of this stuff. You can. You just got to be aware of that. It's got to get out of here because by the time that exhausts, if it doesn't, look at this. You're going to get butchered in here. You're getting butchered. Yay. Yay. No. Yay. No. No. Yay. No. But still. So that's important to remember. The 1 break, right? When 1 breaks and goes 2, it has to get outside of the bar that the 1 is of. That if it doesn't, you guys still got a 1 again, and you got to be aware of that. You can get chopped up because it can do that for months or OIH for years, right? Yes, you are. We'll see the monthly and the weekly are fine. Yeah, no, as far as we know, the problem with the weekly is exhaust tomorrow. It's over, right? So you're running out of time. You're still weakening up over 108.28. and you're still a 2, right? And you still have time frame continuity to the upside because it's the first week. Yes, you do. Your threat is that 60 stuff and that you want into new highs. Right? Anytime you go into new highs or new lows, just like the scenarios, anytime you go into new highs or new lows and you're still open, anytime you're a 2 and you're still active, you're a potential 3. Nah, you're not a potential 3 until you come back through here, 108.28, but you are because you're a 2, right? If you're a 2, you could be a 3. That's the problem of 2. Therein lies the problem of 2. Correct, Keith. Right. Okay, well, Judy, an outside bar, right? A 3 takes out both sides. Right, a 1 has to become a 2, and a 3 is always a 3. And a 3 has to follow a 2. But if you're a 2, you better stay 2. That's all I'm saying. You better stay 2. Because if you don't, that's when people are going to lose a lot of money. So what that means, Judy, is I can't take out last week's lows in JP Morgan. It's like, right now it's taking out last week's highs, right? But if I'm going to go outside bar, I have to take that out first, which means 2 does that. The only way I can have a 3 is to have a 2, which means any 2 is a potential 3 if it comes back into the range. Which is going to be good for Judy continuation on stronger stuff, right? Because what you're going to want to be looking for, right? That's right. 1 can turn into anything if still open. Correct. What you're going to be looking for is these reclaims back in the Judy direction of ripping, right? You're going to be looking for the 2. Right. What you're going to be looking is for the 2 the 2 down that comes back into the range that gives your stuff the cranking. That's right. Like cat. Cat 60. What you want? That 60 comes in. Ready? Opens. 2. Oops, gotta get my pointer. 2. 2. Ready? 2 back up. Hammer. Bam. Right, potentially, Frank. Yeah. Profit taking, then we give them the business, especially if we get a potential 3. Which was in cat a compound 3. Like I said, once you have that outside bar and you go 2 and then 2 counter, there's your triangle. Because you're 2 off of a 3 that failed, right? So you know you're back into the try. That's the key of the failed 2-3 or 3-2. So 3-2 is either triangle expando or back through the try. That's the importance of the 3-2. We know we messing with the try. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. Not to mention the 3-3, but the volatility's been a little low for those. Right, you want to know everything, but what I'm showing is we can know what's happening because of this. We don't have to draw triangles. We know a 3 is one, no question about it. Yeah, because the 3 gives us the triangle, man. Right, but if this was going to grow, it would have to stay outside here, right? If this was going to continue and go 3-2, and keep puking, it would have. But once you come back into here, boy, oops, that's that punch you in the face. But now this time, It's like, I'm not just going to beat you up while my friends are jumping out of the woods. We're really going to beat the crap out of you. Now we're going all the way the other side, right? Because the outside bar, that was the first little skirmish. We're in a fight. And then he gets dirty and tries to kick me in the balls. Oh, yeah, now we're breaking out the military. Boom. We're going the other side of that thing for sure. The hammer bottom, but the key is knowing the sequence. That this is a 3. This is an outside bar, and that's in the chorus. That's already in the chorus. The hammer counters outsider. Because that means we already know there's a battle going on when you got an outside bar. But when you get outside of it, then it can be triangle expando, where you're really going to demolish them. But if you don't, they're going to come back after you. Right. That's the power of the triangles, man. That's knowing what scenario 3 is like. And being like, I don't want to mess with scenario 3 on the wrong side. That's how people get killed, right? That's how anybody you've traded for a long time, right? And you've made some money giving it all back. If you go back in time and see where you gave it all back, it was scenario 3. This doesn't matter. Took out both sides of the range. That's all you need to know. Smaller time for no, I'd avoid. Yeah, well, not until you're a ninja. When you're a ninja, you can do whatever you want. But no, there's no need to do that. We've got such a long list, Frank, of things that are inside and up, and on the weeks and the months and the quarters, and all that kind of stuff. Right. Cat, this is a go go go. Right here, as soon as you took this out today, go. This thing, we took him out here, come back into the range, hammer back up. It was in the video nobody got. And then I brought it up today, and I was like, look, see this? 60 hammer. I'm like, and it was right in here. I was like, gee, I wonder where it's going. We know where it's going. We're going to take these guys out. 159.37. And I said that, I think, to everybody, right? There's no question in my mind we're taking this thing out, especially when you go 60 here, 2, 2, 2 back the other way off hammer, 2, 2, 2. And that 2 was risk of an exhaustion because you took this out. Right? And which is that 2, and which one on Slim? I'm sorry. This one, okay, the daily. Sorry. Would we go after it down here for triangle expando here yesterday? Sure. The problem was you've got the market going the other way. The market's gunning into the highs. So that's a problem. We have futures problems. We would prefer that to go gunning because it's the first week of the year. So we're messing with monthly and weekly time frame continuity the same. So we're going to take everything into account. What are the futures doing? They're ripping. I'm like, is this thing really going to puke? I'm like, maybe. If it's going to puke, it's got to stay below there. I'll tell you that much. Definitely not messing around with that. And then today, oh yeah, going after this, and then they try and go you out. It's like, this is going to happen, right? If you got in here and started going here and you're like, yay, right? And then it comes in on you, screwed. So most people who did get in, so funny, then get triangled out. And then, like, I'm never, cat's piece of shit. I'm not, bam, see you right back up. Yes, definitely. It depends on how we're going after it in here, but oh yeah, we get stopped out a lot, and that's fine. That's one of the hardest things for people to understand. Don't worry about getting stopped out, right? Because I'm putting you in positions that when they go, they really go. we're going into having a lot more information than most people have. Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. Can you get in here before the reclaim? Oh, yeah. As soon as it's in there, you bet. Oh, yeah. No, you're looking at very shorter term time frames. Oh, that's key. I'm sorry, on the, but yeah, no, this is key because that's potential to reversal. Yeah. And that's what we wanted, too. That's ideally what we wanted because on the daily here, the high's 157.49, right? And we're already reclaimed the day, right? This low here is 156.93. Once we're back into that thing, oh, I'm sorry, today, 157.49, 157.49. So here, once you get back into here, 49's right here. That low is 50. Get right there. Marianne, we're going through it as much as we can. It's already recorded, so and we'll still, and Judy on the shorter term time frame, 30s, cat. And if I miss anything, you guys ask again. So then cat, here we go. Opens the day, comes out gunning, right? Goes inside 30. Goes 2, but that's also a 1. It's potential rev strat here when it takes it, but it's also a 1 because it's still in this range. Then goes 3. Puke. This is 3. Right here. Threes them into the lows, right? Which also takes this and this as a 2, as a 1, 2 down. This is a 2. Then it goes inside on the 30. There's a 1. Then 1 goes 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and took them out like we were looking for on the daily. Then 3, then 1. Cruising with the deuces. Yeah. Especially after triangle the at. Because nobody's taking this much pain. Nobody's taking this thing down to here. No way. No way. You're taking them all out. They're gone. And Nvidia, nice job. So Nvidia, monthly, right? The 2-2 reversal with the hammer. 2 down, 2 up, right? Above 230 cents. Oh, there's 3 strat truths. Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. It's just, Doug, that what I've identified with these scenarios, we can get in on so much more. We get this. If you thought we could get in on everything before, now we can get on everything because everything trades this in the scenarios too. So before, if we had to battle in our way in on inside wonders, we don't got to do that anymore. That's the beauty of it. We can get in on anything. So then, weekly here was 1, 2, but reverts to a 1 because it couldn't get out of there. Reverts to a 1, couldn't get out of there. So this is one giant 1, then boom, weekly up, right? Daily run, sheep run. 2 down, 2 up, and then gap 2, right? Yeah, or it's on my YouTube, Smith in the Black, all one word. The greatest story ever sold. Scenarios with truth and combo. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This is a big deal. I came up with this on Christmas Eve and I started running to the office. I was so excited. And so then Nvidia goes 2 on the gapper. If it's going to go 3, it would come back through here. No, they don't. It took me 7 years to come up with something new. But this is awesome. This gets us in on everything. Smith in the Black, all one word. That's my YouTube channel. And so, Terry, then it gaps up. If you go to the 60s, run, sheep, run. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Triangle the out, inside, then it gaps up. 3. And we spent the whole day in here. So this is all one giant 1 today. Mm-hmm. And so here's what I think what you were asking, and you were definitely asking. So here's what you can look for as opposed to looking for the rev strats or whatever. All this is close, right? Sideways one or right. Yeah, Nvidia was doing nothing. That's why you got to know that one reverting. But here two, then two down, then two back the other way. Two reversal right here. That's right back in their face. What that is tight try, right? If we go to 15ers, so she gapper, she go two, she go two, she go two, 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 one, two down. Then here's the 2-2 reversal. The one down two was down. Then it takes out slight lower low for the potential three and goes two, and then goes two back the other way. There's your 2-2 reversal right here. Which before we would have gotten. Now we can. Right there. 2-2 reversal back to the upside. Two, 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 two. Two down. Two down. Two reversal back up. One up. Two, 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 two. One back down, triangle the out. Right? Multiple one, and then gap up, and the rest is history. So you bet it is. Yeah, you can go 2-2 reversal for sure. Especially if it's something we want to be in like that. Something that's really powering, definitely. And it gives you the real tight stop. It should just go. It shouldn't come back at all. We got him. We got the profiteki. Ill-timed shorty. This is also going to help with helping people that aren't involved on the openings because it's really hairy and stuff like that. Oh yeah, yeah. Because if we get some of that stuff on the opening that goes 3-2, you can whale on it. You can whale on 3-2 openings, as opposed to trying to worry about being rev stratted on inside bars on the ones and the threes and the fives. You can just wait for those twos turning into threes, and then 3-2. Because it should just go. It definitely should just go. Trying to remember some of that. And there's even opening 60s that were doing that, I think. Those GILD, stuff like that. I don't know. There's some peak. 15er peak. Opening 15, yeah, if they're getting violent enough. I'm trying to think of. There was some more today. Let's see, this might have been fiver. Let's see what it did on the fiver. Yeah, bam. Opening 5 minute. Look at this. Boom. Two. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. That's right. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Because it can't not do it. All right. It's a matter of putting them all together. And what you're going to see is that it's good that that we got this at the beginning of the year. Because as the year goes on, there's going to be the bigger tries. And another thing that's important is like we've been going up for 8 years. When they start hitting them, this is going to be really important. They're going to crush. We're going to know exactly where to be. We're going to know exactly where to be, and they will really crush them when you get the three back downers. Oh yeah, they'll murder them. Yeah, it does. Three, two, 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 two. There you go. Exactly. Right. Because also the important of the reversion of the back into the one multiple, that's going to help people not get chopped up once you understand that. Because you'll hear me stay still inside, and mathematically it's revert to one. You know, and we still do prefer the actionable signals. Like we want that three to do the oneer, right? Because we got that. Just doesn't have to be. Because ideally, we want the 3-3. The 3-3. So it's good. It's starting to sink in a little bit. And thank you, Brian. That's the video there, Judy. 335 kill me. No, you just got to know to get out, man. This is an extension of the strat. Yeah. Extension. It's just a further way to define it because the strat is about things that are true. You can't deny it, right? Right? You cannot deny any part of the strat, nor can you the scenario. It is what it is, right? It's a matter of putting the combinations together. So, something that would go 2 or 1-2 down, then 1-2 up, and take out the previous bars and do it again, there's your triangle expansion. The triangle's got to get bigger, right? So like here, look at this. I can't believe I just said that. So here, anything that goes higher high inside scenario 1, 2, 2, 2, and granted, oh, I'm sorry, we can go tighter right here. Here's your tight little 1. Here's your tight scenario 1. Your 2, your 3, 1, take out the highs. Your 2, down, take out the lows. Your 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and like you can see how the triangles will play out. Well, just train your mind, man. 1 is inside bar. You can still think of the way it is, but just train your brain. You had to train it for the strat in the first place anyway. Because it's cut and dry. If it's an inside bar, it's 1. If it's got one side, it's 2. Okay. VXX gets short. And now that you know this stuff, oh yeah, any 2 to the upside, you know is a potential 3. For sure. That's the beauty of this. Right? That's the real beauty of this. Here, look at this. She spike. She 2. She 2 the other way. Peek. She goes 1, 2. She goes 1, peek. Reversal, right? Inside, green. Inside, down, reversal, peek. Anything. 2, 2, 2 the other way. That's a gapper, but you get the idea. 2 takes out one side. 3 is a triangle, takes out both sides. Yeah, do the same thing. Once you know the scenarios and those things, you don't really have to do anything else. It's fun, but 3 is an outside bar, yes. And the importance of that, Marianne, of understanding this, is that can't happen unless a 2 happens first. So once a 2 turns into potential 3, which in a rudimentary way is red dog reversal, right? We know they exist. And so as we have more evidence that that's going to kick in, like all the longer term time frames, oh yeah, anytime you take out one range and come back in, we're going to be all over it. XEC, that's hammer counter shooter month. Yeah, hammer counter shooter, which would be in scenario speak, actionable signal, 2-2 reversal, right? 2 by taking them out, then 2 by taking that out, right? Yes, 2 is either 1 up or 1 down. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be a 1, Marianne. It doesn't have to be a 1. It could be any range. That's the real beauty of this. It doesn't have to be a 1. It doesn't have to be inside. 2 just takes out the range. So this was just whatever range it is. This took out one side and didn't take out the highs. That's 2. Same here. 2, 2, 1. Didn't take out the highs. 2, 2, 2. Now 2 reversal that takes out the highs when this bar was red and this is green. When this previous 2 is to the downside and then 2 up. Now 2, 2, 2, 2 the other way that didn't stay in. Potential comes back in for potential 3. Now what's important to remember, when that happens, then the 2 counter is the triangle of this, right? Then we're looking to take them out because you triangled them out. You went 2 down and you didn't stay down. And you didn't have enough time to fully take it out. But if that goes 2, 2 the other way, and then 2 again, oh yeah, we're taking out the try. Yeah, we are. Def, which we did. 127.89, gone. Right? That's a little compounding of it because sometimes you're going to run out of time where they're going to try and triangle them out, but they didn't have enough time. But if that follows with another 2 that way, oh yeah, we've definitely taken that triangle out. When it becomes a 2, you could. It depends on how much evidence you got. Right? Like I said, don't get caught in the vortex. It's all the time frames. You just got to be really aware of that 2 turning into a 3. Go sideways 3? Yeah, right. Exactly. You just can't. When you see these in your mind, we know it's coming. Any previous range can potentially outside. Exactly. Exactly, Keith. Because we know they exist. Because we know range expansions and how things work. Definitely. On the daily. Well, we knew that triangle we were watching for a while, right? We were watching that triangle for a while in the videos. This one. This in here. Tight, 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 tight. Take them out. Triangle they all out. So they won't be in for the real move. 1, 3, 3, 2. Ripper. 2. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Adjacent time units can be conceptually combined if needed for clarity. Yeah. Oh yeah. Every previous range is important, but that's why we want to clarify it with the longer term stuff. Otherwise, you can go nuts, just like the Strat can drive you nuts if you're looking at a oneer all day, right? But once we have these scenarios playing out in longer term time frames, i.e., when the daily comes in and it's a potential 3, you get and you can wait for a 60, like the Dollar Tree, stuff like that, or like you have the. Right, when you had that 60 in here, Momo, inside 60 Momo hammer, knew for sure they were taking that out when this thing started going. But like I said, it ran out of time here. When it did this, it ran out of time on going outside day on the 60. And so then it did it and went 2 and took them out, right? But then came back down for potential 3. But the goal was we're going to take them out for sure. So it doesn't matter whether this 2 stays 2 or not. And don't worry if it's frying your brain a little bit to begin with. It's frying my brain. I just figured it out. So this is only going to get better. Because we already know what we know, which is really good as far as the Strat's concerned. We already know that stuff, right? This is just going to take us into hyperspeed when need be. Price discovery, that'd be 2. Anytime you go 2, you're just price discovery. Taking out previous range. without question. 2. We're trying new highs and new lows of something. Either that works or it doesn't. And that's why, there's times in trending markets where they go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and that's why we want to know where the triangles are, because that's going to be bottom, top, try, or really strong markets. You just have to identify that, and that's what we do with the longer term time frames when we shrink it down. See, just like so, price discovery down through these guys this morning. What's down here? Shall we keep up puking? I don't know. You got any more to sell? No. Here she comes. All right, let's take them all out. What's up here? I don't know. Let's find out. Is there any more buyers? No. FedEx? Oh, yeah. FedEx Daily. Here we went. Here, well, here we're weekly up, so we're FedEx and the UPS are 1, 2. All right, with the UPS 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Which is your inside and up. See, that's another beauty of it. We can, because we know time frame continuity, because we know the 3s exist on longer term time frames. Doesn't have to be a 1, 2, just 2, 2, just a 2. Doesn't have to be. We prefer it because it does represent consolidation. The 1, we prefer that, but we don't have to do it. Endless possibilities, right? That's what I'm saying. This is even more nuts than we already were. All right. Sorry. Your inside weekend up. 1, 2. And the good thing, Judy, is that I'm going to show you stuff individually because I know you're not going to learn all this stuff. All I'm going to show you is how to use it in intraday stuff for what you already do. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to use it on intraday stuff for what you already do. You see, and everybody, I tell you, I customize this for people. I customize this because I know who you are. Once I know who you are, and I know how you think, I'll get you where you need to be. Because it is so vast. It's so vast. It just works on everything. It's a matter of what you can handle and buying power and all the things that you can do and all that kind of stuff, right? First of all, what's very important, Scott, I kind of got, I know you. First of all, you got to do what I tell you to do. Right? Gotta. If I tell you to do something, you do it. That's what one of the main things when people come to me, I'm like, look, if you lose money and I never hear from you, don't yell at me. All right? If I tell you to do something and you lose money, yell at me. All right? How long you been with me? How short are you short VXX? If you're not, what am I supposed to do? Do that. Right? Lesson 1. All right? So just do what I say. All right? When I tell you to do something, do it. If I tell you to sit there and watch the gapper list and rot away while things are ripping and stuff like that, do it. Because on a day like today, you would have murdered it. Gapper list murdered it. The CNET. That's all you needed. Trade of the year. Twice. Inside 60 up for doing nothing. Took 2 hours to set up. This took 2 hours to set up. Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's especially on a Friday like today. If you get that 2-3 scenario and and we know where it's going and it's a Friday, and they're like, oh, it won't go there. I'm like, you want to bet? Might not go there for long, but we don't care, right? We know that Dollar Tree's going up through there. When you got this, I'm like, when I pulled that up, I'm like, where's it going? 109.48. I'm like, it's going 49er for sure. And if there's depending on how cheap all those 109.50s were, because it was a buck out of the money, then it goes blasting into the money for 26 cents. And you know to sell into it because you're going into higher highs and not get greeds, right? And this is just Dollar Tree. There's nothing. Yeah, it does. Because that's why you'll see. Well, he laughed during the day. I'm like when I say, "Gee, I wonder where it's gone," and you'll hear I'll say, "We know where it's gone. We know where it's gone." Because outside bars and threes exist, right? That's the beautiful thing that we know. We know that exists, right? As opposed to, is it a cup and shoulder? Like you got to sit there and think about it. I'm like, this is a potential without question because we know outside bars exist. Ergo, we get anything else involved in it, right? We get stopped out more if you try and trade the longer term time frames, such as daily signals. When with long term to us is yearly, quarterly, and monthly. So it depends. Sometimes they just go. Like you'll see Jim go after some of those inside days that he wants, just go right out the chute. Because sometimes in the opening they just gone and never come back, right? Like it's good to have hotkeys where you get in there and take the offer or hit the bid, and then yeah, right. And you have a hotkey that's an immediate stop, 1 or 2 cents stop. Either it works or it doesn't. But when it works, it really works. It really works, right? It prevents you from getting that triangle back in. That's right, Slim. And so what you're going to see in a lot of that stuff, the reason you're going to see a lot of that stuff, that quick stopper stuff, is because of the low volatility. We get higher volatility, they open and just explode, right? And you'll see that from time to time. Jim's really good at that. And so you can hold on and wait, right? Right, you can hold on and wait. Like I said, some people just kick back, waiting for the 15s, 30s, 60s. If something's really going to go, it's going to go, right? Yeah, because Keith also we're going in small and looking to add. If the thing's really going to go, it's going to keep going, right? And it'll go right away, right? When we get in, it should go right away because of all the stuff that we know. Yeah, Ice, man, I would just relax for a little while because it's hitting you, and I don't want it to confuse you, right? Keep seeing this for a while, right? Take a few more weeks. Just keep looking at it. And keep looking at the option change because that's going to change on where we want to be, right? Because one of the tough things about trading the options is that you're always having to check the chain as opposed to just going into the common, right? And certainly looking for the rev strats and the twos into threes, and especially when you have a combination where a longer term two is a potential three and a shorter term, and you have a shorter term one, because that gives you the inside bar. And if that thing breaks and that thing's a potential three, el puco mucho, right? But because this is new to me, this is all new to you, right? Don't worry about big tries, Texas size tries. Yeah, the underlier, but because that's going to change per the time, how much time you have in the options, right? But yeah, you're using the underlier. Decay and stuff. All right, well, 100% every day. That's good. That's good. But Keith, yeah, everything's going to enter into it. Is what options are we trading? And what are we doing here? Right? Are we Friday shenanigans where we're barely going into putting her into the money, or are we looking for bigger tries? Dailies, weeklies, where we're riding them for a while. Because you also former threes. Yeah, right. No, that's good. Former threes, old threes are big old tries, right? And those are battlegrounds. So for newer folks, that's important to know for like an Autodesk, right? You got to remember what a three represents. A three represents that the buyers and sellers were willing to pay up over the high of the previous range and sell below. Now, they did it once. If they're willing to do that again, the range is going to grow, right? If they're going to do that, they're going to be back into the old three, a la here. Monthly Autodesk goes 3, 2, 2 back against that. Now this is a 2-2 reversal here, a la the dude. Back into the old try here, right? And if that plays out, this thing goes zoom and takes that out. See ya. Now, on a shorter term time frame, dude says, yeah, yeah, do it. Weekly did this. Goes outside, there's your 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. And so on the weekly this week, this goes 2 reversal of that, which takes this triangle out. Take these guys out. Now dude's got some working to do here, but it did its job. The 2 took that and that. That's all you're looking to do, right? So here's your sub try, and I won't draw it because dude will cry, but higher high and lower lows. There's your sub try. So either dudes gets murdered where it comes up here, right, and goes up, triangle them out, and measured move and gets destroyed, or it keeps going 2, 2, 2, 2 and starts gunning on these guys. All right, you got it, man. We are an hour and a half in. And so maybe I'll just cut it here anyway because there will be times where we're going to go 3-4 hours if we need to. But nobody wants to watch a 4-hour video. And I do want it to sink in first because it's helping me to talk to you because this is all brand new to me, right? But it's coming crystal clear, and I'm going to get better at it for you. But think in terms of the strat. Understand that this is just an extension of the truth, which is a really good thing to know. This is stone cold truth. There's only 3 things that can possibly happen. And just like the strat, when we put it all together, now we can catch stuff we wouldn't have before never touched because we would have said this is not inside, right? There we go. We're not going to touch it. Now, if we were good enough, we'd say this was a triangle. We could look for shorter term stuff. But now that we know that there's only 3 possible scenarios, we know that 2, 2 is a reversal. And we know 3 is a triangle. So this is going to greatly increase our opportunity on stuff that we do. So on that note, if there's anything that you really need from me, you can ask me right now. It looks like this is recorded. And I think we did. And if it's recorded, we're going to have archives. The best scenario? Well, it's always going to be a combination, right? A 3-2-2 reversal because here 3-2-2 because you got the triangle, but it could be a 2-2. We like to get involved in the 3, so. And the rev strat's going to be right a 1-3 or a 1-2-2. Right, 1-3 or 1-2-2, but it's always gonna be a matter of how much is going on everything, right? The longer term stuff, so it's always a combination. Devon Energy today And Devon Energy, I believe, went 3 to the upside. So Devon looks like this. Monthly. Triangle day out. Here's the bigger try. All right, trying to come up that. So walking up here. Monthly. 1, 2, 2, 2. Weekly. 1, 2, 2, 2. Right? And so as opposed to getting spooked by the shooting star, 2. Unless it takes it out, that's 2. 2 still going. Daily. Did you take out both sides, boy? Yeah, you did. 3. It's daily 3. So you had the opportunity in the morning. Teehee. A little brutal. 60 today did this. The 2-2 reversal back up. On the 60, this was, oh, we got one more bar. Why are you doing this to me? Oops. Boom, here's the opening. 2. 2 reversal back up. All of this was a 1 until you came through this. 2, 2. And it's in the oil patch, which has got a lot going for it right now, right? Because everything matters. It's a matter of what's going on in the sector, the overall market. But stone cold, there's only 3 scenarios to go with the universal choose. And now that we know that, we can game the tries better than anybody. It's going to be ridiculous. It's already ridiculous, but it's going to get better. So on that note, let's call it a night. And yeah, you've got a 3 that could be, it could be anything now, right? Yeah, that's right. AK shooter down. If it doesn't go, dude. And so that's a good thing to know because that's how you train your mind to not be intimidated by it. Because all that means is they blow out some shorts. Just the buyer might still be there. He just didn't pay up yet until he comes in tomorrow and says, right? Buy more, buy more, buy more. Right? That's what we always talk about confirmation, but that's what that means still too. There you go. And the good thing, dude, is even if it takes the shooter, if it gets back into the shooter, then it's 3. Then we're back off to the races, triangle day out. That's the beauty of this, right? That's the real beauty of it. Hammer counter shooter or outside bar of the shooter. But once you're back in there, this is how you can identify tries immediately. 2 tree. It's what's going on. 2 tree. Get. Nice try, 2. And once again, combining all the time frames. And especially on the flips, too. You get something break on the flip and then go inside 5 and go back the other way. See ya. Nice knowing you. Counter tick on the flip, inside 5 or back to the moon. But enough, I won't confuse you anymore. It's just get excited because this is taking our game way up. So on that note, everybody, have a good night. I'm going to try and get home and get back, and we'll have more fun in the morning. Everybody seems to be coming out firing this year, and this is only going to make it a whole lot better. So on that note, let's hope that this recording lasts and works. All right, everybody have a good night. See you in the morning.